Hey everyone, just a very quick note before jumping into the video. For some reason my last two videos got way more views than I ever expected. And I'm already over 200 subscribers, which is absolutely mind-blowing for me. So first of all, thank you very much. Second, I apologize for the horrible quality and the irregular schedule. I'm still trying to find out how YouTube works. And last, I was super surprised by how many people actually commented in the video and gave me tips and tricks on how I can improve. So love reading more of this. Thank you very much. Now back to the actual video. Big heads up, this isn't my official hardcore character, but me practicing Shadowfang Keep. I had this footage recorded some time ago and I thought it would be interesting for people to see how I'm learning and finding out how the dungeon works so that I can hopefully do it on my official hardcore character without dying. Quick overview of what we are dealing with. Shadowfang Keep consists out of 10 bosses ranging from level 20 to 26. I'm currently playing on my level 27 druid, so just one higher level than the last boss. My gear is the best gear I could find for level 24, so it's a bit outdated but still good. The complete list is in the video description. For the rules of what level I could be for this dungeon, I'm following the hardcore add-on. So for Shadowfang Keep, I could be level 30. I mostly just stealth past any trash and focus on bosses. And just to repeat, this is not my official hardcore character, but just a practice run to find some ways to solo the bosses. Starting with the first boss, Gore. The first thing I learned here is you cannot really pull him alone, and you have to deal with the adds at the same time. But luckily he is super low level and therefore is missing a lot. Also his soul drain ability isn't doing much on you, so just clean up the adds and then slowly kill him. Next are the horses in the courtyard, but I skipped them for now as I don't think I will need any tricks to defeat them. Third boss, Razorclaw the Butcher. Things I learned here are, it's very hard to pull him without adds, but once you pulled him you are committed. As I didn't clean any trash beforehand, I have to kill him in this room. There's also a patrol running around that you will pull if you're standing where I'm currently standing. But all in all, nothing you can't handle, besides the Butcher drain ability. I'm not sure how this works, but it just deletes my mana and results in me not be able to heal. I didn't expect this at all, and once I realized that I didn't have mana to heal, I started trying to kite him. I found the spot where you can jump back and forth, but it's very hard to not get hit. I was already very low, so I died here and had to try again. So on my next try, I focused on healing myself early, especially if I got free omen procs, and kiting both of them to avoid as much damage as possible. Once the ad is dead, and it's just the boss, it becomes pretty easy, as the boss itself doesn't do too much damage. Next comes Baron Silver Lane. Nothing interesting here, just stand in the corner besides the stairs and tank him. Make sure to decurse yourself before healing, as he puts up a 75% healing reduction. Otherwise just tank and spank him down. Next comes the Commander Springvale. He is surprisingly hard, not because of his abilities, but because there's so much trash that are standing very close together and do annoying silence abilities. So I opt into clearing all the trash beforehand, first in the entire hallway and then in his room. I wouldn't be able to do him in additional with 2 other adds, but I thought one add would be fine. After some long and careful trash killing, I finally decided to pull him with just one add, but even with just one add it got extremely close. I was super lucky that as soon I went for a heal, so did the boss. So I could recover, and then from there onwards was just a normal 1v1, which is pretty easy with my mana regenerations and heals. Next is Odo the Blind Watcher, and oh my god, he hits hard, and his 2 adds are even worse. First thing first, I cleared some trash around the area, hoping I could find a spot where I could kite him. So the idea was I can use some of these roofs behind this boss room just to kite him. I was hoping that this pathing would go very strange once I'm on the roof and would be able for him to take longer to get to me, enough time for me to heal. But turns out he doesn't really care and follows you straight away very quickly. Lucky you can jump down to reset him very easily. I could not just face tank him, as he does way too much damage, but I didn't want to give up here, so I cleared some more trash and wanted to try another roof. Then I realized you can actually walk all the way around the roofs to the front of the boss room. That's perfect. Now all I have to do is clear everything and have a kiting route to the boss. So with a new strategy in mind, my hopes were high that I went straight for my next pull. Pulling the boss on the roof and all the way to the newfound ledge. I jumped down and they reset it to full life. But I realized that they don't reset completely. I'm still in combat, and if I move closer to the boss room, they actually run around the corner and attack me again. So I went to try the same thing again, but this time run quickly as possible to the boss room and hope they would not heal up completely. So a full reset and then another pull. getting them back to the ledge and jumping down, this time closely to the wall as possible. And it actually worked. They didn't heal up and came around. With this new strategy, I was confident I could solve the boss, and it's now just a matter of time until he died. Until this happened. I jumped too far and got teleported out of the dungeon. So one more time from the beginning. Pulling the boss to the edge, focusing on the first ad, jumping, this time not too late, not too far from the wall, and then the first ad goes down pretty quickly. From there on, the damage was already much lower, and also the second ad was soon down. Then I was back to the usual one-on-one with the boss. He actually has a small end range by getting bigger and bigger and hitting harder and harder, but I could kill him before he was too much. Next is the rare Death Sworn Captain. Very easy, just tank and heal, and you get rewarded by a nice drop at the end. Coming now to the real boss, Fenris the Devourer. I was hoping it would be just an easy boss, but turns out he has a poison ability that drains your mana. I can dispel the poison, but still costs me a lot of mana as I have to shapeshift back afterwards. So the first try ended in a death as I ran out of resources. As it was close enough, I thought with a bit better mana management I could get him. But again, the same thing. I didn't have enough DPS to kill him before I was completely out of mana, so I needed a better plan. I started kiting him and see if I could find somewhere a spot where his movement would be blocked or I can get some space. But the room is just around arena, and kiting him all the way back to the boss was an option as I didn't kill any trash on the way. While jumping around and panicking a bit, I found this reset spot behind the pillar. This didn't help me killing the boss, but at least I could reset him and try fast and safer method. During my last attempt, I noticed that he had trouble keeping up with me when I started turning and running away, with his damage output being very low as I was running. So I tried this time to hit him while jumping in circles, and it turned out that you can actually jump in a strafing motion around the boss and regen your mana while he can't hit you. Not sure why this is, but with this little trick it was enough for me to buy myself enough time to regen up and actually beat him on my next attempt. Right after the end boss comes and spawns these Void Watchers, which I wasn't aware of. They hit pretty hard and do some strange life shifting between each other. I would have died here, but luckily I could use my reset spot again. With that I could slowly kill them one by one. Only 2 bosses to go. I was very confident at this point I could beat Shadowfang Keep without even having to level to 30 or invest more into my character on hardcore. Next was Wolf Master Nandos, and holy moly I didn't know what's gonna hit me. Already the 4 wolves in his pre-room are insane. They summon more wolves and hit you for a lot, but you have this really good kiting spot from the last boss room and you can always reset after killing one. Coming to the boss. First of all, I didn't know that he would just storm down these stairs once you killed the wolves, so I was already surprised by him before I even intended to pull him. But I thought it can't be that hard. I will just jump down once I get low, heal up and rinse and repeat until he's dead. But turns out he also summoned wolves during the fight, which resulted in me getting completely overwhelmed and dying. All of a sudden I lost hope. Not be able to solo all dungeons in World of Warcraft as it seems impossible. I kept trying, but every time he started summoning wolves I had to jump down and reset the spot. So my next idea was, can I skip him? I snuck past him and hoping I could maybe just do the end boss right away. But the door was locked and I couldn't find a way inside the room. My next idea was there was a little ledge in front of him, where I realized I could stand on it and keep him in combat without him reaching me. I couldn't do damage to him from here, but I was hoping that he would eventually stop casting wolves after some time. So I spent the next 30 minutes standing on this ledge waiting for him to stop summoning wolves, but turns out he doesn't. At this point I was running out of ideas, so I decided to just keep pulling him to understand how much DPS I would need to kill him before there was way too many wolves. During my attempts of keep pulling him, resetting him as soon the wolves spawned, which every time took 4 minutes until they despawned, I learned that he actually has no real trigger when he starts using his abilities. Sometimes it takes a minute, sometimes just a few seconds until he starts summoning his wolves. So I thought if it's really completely random, I can just keep pulling him until I get a try where it takes him so long until he summons his wolves that I could kill him beforehand. So I tried the next 2 hours over and over pulling him and resetting him until I try to get a summon where he doesn't get any wolves, and I never got really lucky. After 2 hours I gave up. But this isn't a bad ending. I'm confident I can beat him, but I will need the maximum level allowed for this dungeon, which is level 30, and I also need to upgrade my gear. I just need a bit more DPS to burst him down before he actually gets too many wolves out. I was running out of time here and had to call it, but I will return. So sorry this video has a slightly disappointing ending, but I'm confident that this is possible to solo Shadowfang Keep now. My next video will be from my druid on official hardcore servers, so stay tuned for that or catch me live on my livestream.